Hey yo, it's me. It's RVE. What up, everyone? It's the RVE, the Raven Effect here. Back to do the Heelcast, which was my New Year's resolution I was going to do a lot more of, and that has been a complete failure, much like most things in my life. And it's halfway through the year. But you know what? Better late than never. We are back. And with me this time around is my partner in crime, my boo, so to say. I've got the Impact brother _ish something or another. I've done this show. It's been so long since we've done this Heelcast. Do you even have a name anymore?
I feel like it might have to become AEW Dude here pretty soon, man. I think it's time for a change. How about the
enough is enough,
AEW Impact Dude, or the Impact AEW Dude, like implying that I'm Impact Dude, but I'm AEW Dude, but AEW is making an impact
on TNT.
Ooh,
dude.
I like that.
So you can be the AEW dude and I'll be the A&W dude. Like it's a quality root beer and cream soda. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy the beverage quite often.
It's also a great tag team.
But it is AEW and A&W. I mean, AEW's already taken on. Apparently they've changed the name of this new tag team that would have got them sued by Nintendo, because once you hit the big leagues like TNT, you start to get noticed a lot more. So if you can't tell, we're excited for AEW. We are going to become an AEW and Impact show. We're excited about, and we're going to talk some Double or Nothing as well, aren't we?
All right, you got that damn straight.
Absolutely, man. So God, it's been so damn long. Who do we still promote here? We've got our Heelcast family. Look, I mean, check out Robert. Robert does wrestling Robert there. We've got Larkin with 8 million things going on, podcast every week. But you know what, man? And I want to give Larkin all the props in the world, but he legitimately, I believe, is it Podcast One or one of these major podcast networks. They have picked up Larkin. They are doing a legitimate, authorized LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship podcast. So it's very cool for Larkin. No one deserves it more than him. I mean, Larkin's such a professional and so great at what he does. So I want to give mad props to Larkin there. My buddy BQ with the Impact Laundry.
Man? Well, let's back up on Larkin here for a second. How does Larkin handle this?
Larkin has BBWs.
Exactly. Larkin's got to talk to chicks that aren't BBWs. It's like, look, for you or I, lingerie fighting championships, I mean, let's face it, chicks in lingerie that fight, fuck, man, I'm in, right? But for Larkin, it's like, it's a job. It's a freaking chore, dude.
I mean, I'm sure they got to have a heavyweight division, don't they?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I guess we need to start watching.
We need to start watching.
Supporting our buddy. Yeah, right. But still, man, like, that is so fucking cool, though, that Larkin, a big time company network, literally, like, this is their official thing, and they chose Larkin. That's really cool. Like I said, my buddy BQ, he's got the Impact Lounge channel where Kyle and that guy who has beef with you now, apparently.
Apparently. I don't know, man. It's fucking joke.
The Total Nonstop Impact show. You know what, man? Regardless, I mean, I don't have anything against this guy. I never met him, and I know you don't have anything against the guy either. So hopefully this stuff gets squashed on the air. But we love Kyle to death. Kyle, of course, enjoys motocross practice and punching drywalls and all sorts of things that Kyle's do.
Doing, man? How is his fists today?
I'm sure they're swollen and bruised and all that. Kyle was at the past Impact taping, so I mean, I'm sure check that show out, because I'm sure you're going to get some good stories from Kyle about those. And he was actually at the what was it, Digital something that they put on Sunday night? What was it called? Digital. It was Digital Destruction, right?
I think so. Yeah, Digital.
It was a night you can't miss, the House of Hardcore show, and then Sunday they did that other one. The Bodega, you can check out Chef Larkin, who's an honorary Latino for that time there. Hurls in the 800 things he probably does. The Hurls cast, we can just call it that. Am I missing anyone?
I don't think so, man. I think we cover everybody still around.
So. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, people need to start reminding people that we're still around as unavailable as we've been to do this show, but we're trying to come back. So, look, we got a lot of Impact news. Like shit, man, I remember trying to do this show after we all ran out. We did our thing on Eli Drake, and then we have Rebellion coming up, and I was not interested or intrigued in Rebellion. I do want to say that Rebellion blew the fucking doors off, and I want to give the Impact Wrestling roster and everyone just the credit of the world, because I was not interested or excited for Rebellion. But man, what a show! As great as I thought Double or Nothing was, which we're going to talk later. I know we're just missing the boat, but we never got to give Rebellion the props that it did. Full Metal Mayhem match of the year so far. But I mean, Swan and Callahan blew it up, and Cage wrestled in that match. In that match, you couldn't tell that Cage was hurt. You know what I mean? Legitimately hurt. Him and Johnny put on such a good match. Tessa and Gail with the passing of the torch, fantastic knockouts match. Probably the women's wrestling match I've seen all year. Just want to give Rebellion its props because it's really not only always under the radar because it's Impact and underappreciated, but I mean with all the praise and hype and stuff that Double or Nothing has gotten from anything non-WWE related, I want to make sure that we give Rebellion its props. Did you have anything you want to chime in on that?
No, I mean, let's face it. Brian Cage, he earned his nickname, The Machine, that night. What he did in that match was absolutely amazing. The finish was sloppy, but I think when you realize how badly the guy's back was hurt, I think we'll give him this little bit sloppy finish on that one. But you couldn't tell anything at all in that match. I thought all the matches throughout the card, top to bottom, the wrestlers worked their asses off in that ring, man. They were putting on the show because they're professional entertainers, and that's what they do. So hats off to every single one of them. Hats off to Impact. Let's face it, Impact's been on a roll lately with putting out a good product. It's under the radar, like you said, but the product they're putting out, it's top-notch product, and they're doing it every single week. And this is what we need to see AEW do on a week-to-week basis. It's very easy to put on a good show every now and again. Let's see what happens come October on Tuesday nights.
Absolutely, and it sucks that Impact is just on such an obscure network. And I think one thing that we should probably add in and discuss is the Pursuit channel dropping the ball twice now. And what, 2 out of 3 weeks they completely botched Impact?
Why don't they just put it out on the Heelcast network instead? Because we're fucking more professional than that piece of shit network they're on now. Like fuck that, man. Pursuit, you know what?
So what was it?
Man, let me tell you something.
What was it? Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing, right?
Let them have it.
Did you ever notice that every time you cut off on the fucking highway, it's always some dickhead in a Lexus, right? It's a fucking Lexus every goddamn time, and I hate Lexus because of that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the drivers in my area, but Lexus has a saying. It's called the relentless pursuit of perfection. Well, we're on the Pursuit network, and they ain't pursuing shit, man. There's some dude sleeping in his fucking chair instead of airing the right show. 4 30-minute segments so people can't DVR it. What the hell are you thinking? Let's just air 30 minutes of commercials instead of the final main event. Like, what the hell are they thinking? This has been going on, Raven, in fact, for a while. It's been going on behind the scenes. Ed Nordholm's very upset. All of Impact Management's very upset. And it comes down to Anthem. Anthem needs to say, you know what? We're a major stakeholder in Pursuit. We own Impact Wrestling. These two companies need to work together. Impact needs to help build Pursuit. Pursuit needs to help build Impact. But right now, Pursuit's saying, fuck you, Impact. We don't give a shit. And you can't do that. And heads have got to roll. You just cannot screw the greater good. Because I'll tell you, what's greater than Impact and what's greater than Pursuit, and that's Anthem Sports. You've got to make sure the mothership is always safe. And right now, Pursuit is just screwing that up every chance they get. And let's face it, they're making chances they don't even get.
You know, you mentioned it. I believe when it first happened, it was like 4 30-minute blocks, or like on some providers, it was like split up into 2 different hour-long shows or whatnot. It was either 1 or 2 weeks after Rebellion came out, but they aired 30 minutes straight of commercials, reminiscent of that time on Pop TV with Bully Ray's Karma and that 70s show commercials for Nonstop. But so not only that, man, but fans that tried to record missed out on literally one of the best matches I've seen on Impact Television, non-pay-per-view wise, which was Rich Swann against Big Mike Elgin, which was a fantastic match. I remember just being blown away, like, damn, they're killing it. Then to find out Pursuit fucks up, it's like, wow, this sucks. But last week, so just 2 3 days ago, they aired the Impact of the previous week instead of the brand new show. No. Yeah,
that was this week.
I'm saying 2 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days ago, they aired last week's episode. So it's just, Anthem owns these 2 fucking companies. How in the fuck? Like, Ed Nordholm, you need to get your company's shit together to get your other company's shit together on TV. And it's sad because, you know, not only does this happen, but I tried watching A Night You Can't Miss Saturday. on Impact Plus, and it buffered that entire time. Then afterwards, I try and watch Impact from Friday because I got so busy at my work that I couldn't turn it on Twitch. I got out of there at 8:30, hadn't watched anything, so by the time I get home, I got 15 minutes left to Impact. It's not worth it. I couldn't watch it Saturday because it was buffering too, and then I try and watch it today before we do the show, and I get the message that says it's not available in this country. Now, last I checked, this is America, and we should be able to watch this now. It's disappointing because America's getting the shaft, but I'm just saying, like, Impact Plus, they've got to get their shit together. And I want to give, I've been watching A Night You Can't Miss so far, and it's been a really good show. I've seen the ending of it, but, I mean, something has got to change here. You got to step it up. You got to be more professional. We know you're not the Impact money budget that you had years ago and all that, but you're still, goddamn, you're putting on great product. It sucks that your fans aren't getting to see it.
Yeah, and let's face it, the Twitch shows have their own issues too, right? There always seem to be sound issues with it. And look, I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, well, look, they're free. What do you expect with free? Well, I'll tell you what I expect with free. I still expect a product that I can watch, right? And when there's constantly an echo coming off the mic, when the lighting is just hideous, it's like, okay, it's free, but I'm not going to bother watching it. And if I'm not going to bother watching it, then I'm not going to watch the ads associated with it. I'm not going to boost your Twitch numbers. I'm not going to do any of that stuff because I'm not watching it. You've got to give me a product that has some form of consistency and some form of quality. It doesn't need to be as good as what the main Impact show is. But you know what? Turn the lights all the way on, right? You know what else? Get the mics to actually work. The people in the audience deserve the mics to work as well. And just fix the bullshit. They had the issue with what was the pay-per-view that I refused to watch because it was supposed to be free, and then they charged it $20, and they fucked it up.
Oh God, I don't even want to get started on it.
You know what I'm talking about? Worst fucking waste of money that I never wasted. United We Stand, and I never even fucking bothered to because they pissed me off.
I wasted $20.
They charged you $20, and they gave you a free fucking show, right? And that's what happens when you start doing those types of things. So they need to just be consistent with their quality. The product they're putting on the ring is actually a good product. The product they're putting on the ring is something that I can recommend to friends. The problem is too damn hard for them to fucking put it out for people to find it, right? Sometimes they're putting it out a little faster on Impact Plus. Sometimes it's taking a while. Now, the rumors running around is that they're going to get a better network. We've heard this one before a million times. I'll believe it when I see it. But people are throwing around the Viceland network. Well, I have PlayStation View, and Viceland's not on PlayStation View. So God only knows how far behind I'll be watching it because they're not going to have the digital rights to put it up on the frickin' network. You know what I'm saying? Right away. So who the heck knows? Who the heck knows, Raven Effect? You got anything else on this, my friend?
All I want to say, man, is I hope to God that Viceland picks them up and Viceland is a perfect fit for them. Not only do I have Viceland on my Hulu Live, I have it on my Sling. I've got two options, but I love. Man, I just literally forgot the name of the show. I am so in love with the documentary on God. It's like almost a Beyond the Ring. God damn, what is the name of that show, man? I absolutely loved it. They had the Gino Hernandez, the Montreal Screwjob, Randy and Elizabeth. I am so embarrassed to be forgetting the name of this show. Dark Side of the Ring. And then they got this documentary, The Wrestler. Dark Side of the Ring, rightfully been the highest rated show on that network. They've got reruns of It's Always Sunny. It fits for Impact to make it to Viceland. I don't see what they're holding back on. It's not like Viceland has a lot of great programming on there, but it's becoming a bigger channel, and it would be much better than Pursuit's Hunting and Fishing Network. So that's all I got to say. We talked Rebellion. Now, two people that were, one was on the card on Rebellion and one wasn't. But, we had Scarlett, two of the hottest acts in Impact. I mean that literally. Scarlett coming out there and defeating Rohit Raju, which I was so disappointed this match was going to be on the card, but it beat expectations, which weren't very high. But, there was at the end of Rebellion, there was a big debut in a way, but also a big letdown because we had Big Mike Elgin come out and attack. I guess not the end because the Full Metal Mayhem closed the show. But Big Mike comes out and he attacks Brian Cage after he wins the belt, right? So, but you and I both talked, and at the time we're like, and Mike Elgin's been tearing it up. Props to Big Mike, but both of us had said we wished it was going to be Killer Cross. Am I right?
Yeah, at the time. That was then.
Was it? So you're telling me that she wrestled.
What?
So, I got you. But so it kind of makes sense now as to why we didn't get Killer Cross. So rumors and all that, and I don't even think they're rumors at this point. I think it's pretty much confirmed as a fact. But a lot of shit hit the fan. So Killer Cross is unhappy with the money he's getting paid from Impact, and has asked for his release. Basically, he thinks he can go make more money from NXT, which I've heard which NXT makes, and I don't think that's the case. Thinks he can make more money with AEW. That he probably can. He said he'd like to go wrestle in Japan. I mean, he wants to leave and go elsewhere. Now, his girlfriend Scarlett, who's also, I mean, this woman was a Ring of Honor kind of reject or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she was basically a ring announcer or some shit, like a bell keeper for the most part. I know she worked like a couple of one night only shows on the knockouts or whatever, and then she did what like. Well,
she was with.
I'm sure she had a couple
Taven.
of women of honor matches.
She was with Taven for a while. Yeah. When he was with the dude with the book that walked around with the book. What's his name? I always liked him too.
Truth Martini.
Yeah, Truth
right.
Martini.
I hated him.
She was with him and who's the gal that's with
Wasn't it Taylor?
No. She's the one that's screwing the booker.
Oh, Mandy Lyon.
Mandy Lyon. Those two were with Truth Martini and Matt Taven, and did nothing for me. Neither one of them did anything for me.
Now, the moment I saw Scarlett did something for me years ago, you know, and that's what they've used her to be an Impact. But I mean, look, today Impact has made this woman a star. Killer Cross, that is his girlfriend, or her boyfriend, however you want to say that, word that right. So I don't know if it's a case of standing by her man, but honestly, like, her value has skyrocketed just like his has. She has asked for her release. From last thing I heard, and I don't follow this shit on Twitter because I think it's ridiculous, but apparently she has deleted Impact from her handle name and all things Impact on her, stopped following the company, etc. Apparently has asked for her release too. So this is two of the biggest, hottest stars in Impact wanting out, and I'm not going to lie, man, we have lost way too many people to lose these two of hot commodities. Impact AEW Dude on TNT Dude. I know you got some stuff to say on this. I'm going to let you kind of take the floor. You want to start with Cross or you want to start with Scarlett?
Well, I'll start with Cross. You know, look, when Cross came to Impact, we interviewed the guy. Me and Griggs here on the Heelcast, and I encourage anybody that hasn't listened to that interview to check it out as soon as you're done listening to this show. Cross was amazing. You know, the first thing that I said to Griggs when we got done with that call with Killer Cross was, this guy is going to be a household name. He is going to be a major star in the wrestling business. And I have no doubt in my mind that he can and eventually will be, if he keeps his head straight. I also have no doubt in my mind that he sees that too. And his stardom has, I don't want to say exploded, but it's blossomed. Because he now has a lot more notoriety than he did before. Same thing with Scarlett. Scarlett came off the Indies and everybody was like, wow, this is great. You know, we've got Scarlett Bordeaux. She's the next up-and-coming great thing. Beautiful girl. She comes in and she just nails it, folks. She just nails the character, completely kills it. And now she's getting big. And now the two are dating. And so what you're seeing is that they're kind of getting together. And they're kind of, you know, buying into their own shit. Oh, sweetie, you were so great. Oh, sweetie, you were so great. And then people are telling them they're so great. Well, it's true they were. The problem here is that they signed contracts. And the contracts were supposedly multi-year deals. Now, we never really know what kind of contracts are going on. And we never really know with Impact these days what is and isn't the case. All we know is what's reported. But if you signed a multi-year deal, and you signed it when you weren't worth anything, and now you're worth something because the company made you worth something. And what you have to remember is that what goes around comes around. And so Killer Cross could very easily be jobbing to Rohit Raju, right? Scarlett Bordeaux could very easily be off TV or an undead bridesmaid. Now, I'm not going to say Raven effect, and I know you're here with me, buddy, and I know you got a lot to say on this, but I'm not going to say that they should be doing that and they should be punishing these two. But what I am saying is that if Killer Cross got a comedy gimmick and started jobbing to Rohit Raju, that would destroy his career. If Scarlett Bordeaux similarly had an issue where she was an undead bridesmaid, that would destroy her character and destroy her career too. So I think Raven Effect, that they have to consider the downside of this, and that they really need to do is they really need to just see their contracts through. If they can get Impact Wrestling, maybe give them a raise early, maybe extend their contract a little bit, because Impact Wrestling's probably not going to want to do it if they don't. Then I think at that particular point in time, you've got something to be able to say, we made some kind of a compromise. So those are kind of, my takes on the Scarlett Bordeaux and Killer Cross situation. So Raven Effect, I know you're having some issues. Are you with me? Sounds like you're here.
Yeah. Do you beeping noise or whatever? Because I just keep losing connection. So hopefully I'm sticking in. I've gotten the gist of what you had to say. What was the question you asked me, though? I apologize.
Well, say what's your take on Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux finishing out their contracts, not finishing out their contracts? What could happen if Impact Wrestling doesn't treat them like stars? And what you think would be the ultimate goal for both sides to make something work across the board?
I look at it like this. Impact, I love the company. I want to see them succeed and all that. And I think they've done a great job with these two. That said, I can be a star, and I think Scarlett can be a star. I feel like this is not the company that they can be made a star. Now, you say household name. I'm not going to go that far, because for me, it's such a limited thing. And I don't think that he has necessarily what Eli Drake or the Pope at one point had, or EC3 had at one point, going for that. Maybe like a level of, let's say, like a Chris Jericho or something. If you should able to hear me, just want to double check.
You broke up for a second. When I said I thought he'd be a household name, I did not expect Impact Wrestling to build him as a household name. I felt like he was the kind of guy that could go over to WWE, right, and make a name for himself. I don't really see him as an AEW guy either, to be honest with you. I don't think that his character really fits in with what they're trying to accomplish at the moment. Raven Effect, you there? I can hear you.
Yeah, I was going to say losing connection again, but it came back. To kind of go with what I'm trying to say here, what I think needs to be done is, look, Killer Cross and Scarlett, they both signed a contract. I believe Scarlett's contract was up in June or July. Have you heard that too?
I really haven't heard when she's done.
Whereas Cross has signed like 3 years ago. Yeah, I don't know how so many people know these contract situations, but it does come out. Like, I'm going to say this, is that you sign a contract knowing damn well what you're getting into. Cross, you signed for 3 years. And look, if some of the rumors and reports about what this guy's getting paid and whatever are true, I think that, look, this isn't the NFL. You can't renegotiate. You can't hold out. This isn't professional sports. This is professional wrestling. You can't do what you see in the NFL and just hold out. And I will give the guy props for not holding Impact hostage, because I kind of expected basically they're just going to say, fuck you then, pay me, or I'm going to set up my contract if you're not going to pay me more, or let me go. That said, and I know you've said it too, and I felt this. It's been said he makes like something like $5,000 or some shit like that from Impact per year. But it's like he gets a certain amount from Impact, but then you got the Indies, you got AAA, you've got whatever else he wants to go do to pay him. I'm sure the guy's making a decent living. He's also becoming a bigger name, which is probably going to add his value when he gets booked by indie companies. Same with his girlfriends. That said, if the rumors are true as to what they're paying.
Uh-oh. We lost Raven Effect again. I'm going to jump in here while he's offline and just say that there are rumors that some talent was making $5,000 a year. I'm not sure if those rumors apply to Killer Cross or not. Raven Effect, we lost you, buddy.
Can you hear me again?
Yeah, I can. Let me ask you a question.
I noticed. Can you hear me?
Yes. The $5,000 a year, was that for Killer Cross, or was that for other people like KM? Because I got the impression the $5K a year was KM.
I've heard it was something, and it might have been Cam. Maybe I'm getting these hairs crossed, but maybe I wanted to say I heard that for Killer Cross prior. But look, the bottom line is he's just, from the sounds of it, he should be paid more than what he is. I think maybe there's a 3/4 of the way Impact can meet him on his demands, because we don't know what his demands are. Maybe his demands are outrageous and ridiculous. You know what I mean? The guy's not fucking Chris Jericho, for Christ's sake. He doesn't have that name value. Now he's putting on extremely good promos. He's been a hit since he came in, attacking everyone, leaving the X's on him and whatnot. And he's become a star. I would argue his girlfriends became just the star that he has, though. You know what I mean?
I would too.
And I feel like maybe. Oh, go ahead. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. So what I would say is that, first of all, we don't know what Impact offered him. We do know Impact made him an offer, but they wanted to add another year to his contract to give him that offer. So they wanted to go from a 2-year deal and extend him out now for a total of 3 years. Not 3 years from today, but 3 years total. And he outright rejected it. So first of all, I don't know. Maybe he's making $5,000 and wants $10,000, and Impact ought to just give it to him, right? But maybe he's making $50,000 and he wants $500,000. At which case, Impact's like, I can't help you. The thing that I say here is that let's break down these whole contracts they're talking about, okay? Because if you kind of break the numbers down, you know, let's say that these guys are making $300 a night. Now, $300 a night is not a lot of money. Hard to live off of $300 a night when you're only working a few days a week or a month, right? But let's look at it a different way. Raven it back. Let's say that they do 2 shows a night, and they do 26 shows a year. Okay. Now you take that $3,000, you multiply it by 26, and you're only at $7,800. And you're saying to yourself, Impact, dude, you are not helping Impact's case at all. But then you say to yourself, well, they're only working 26 days a year. This is $300 a night. And then you think to yourself, well, how many hours are they working? And you say, well, maybe they're there for 8 hours. Okay. So then you look and you say, okay, well, they're there physically on site for 8 hours. Multiply that, you know, you're with $37.50 an hour. If they work 2,000 hours a year at $37.50 an hour, well, that'd be $75,000 a year. That's not so bad, is it? Especially when you're sitting and you're saying to yourself, well, these guys are getting notoriety. They're able to sell merchandise, because we're not talking merchandise sales here at all, right? We're just literally talking the $300. We're not talking anything outside of that. And then you say to yourself, but really the 8 hours that they're there, are they really working 8 hours? Or are they really only working an hour or two doing a promo and a match? And I know that the promos take a while, but these aren't WWE promos, so they just reshoot them for hours on end until they get them right? So now you're thinking to yourself, well, really? They're spending as much time in catering as they are working. Maybe they're working, let's say, 3 hours. Now you're $100 an hour. Do that for 2,000 hours a year, and you got $200,000 a year. Not too shabby. The downside is the rumor that goes around that we don't know what's true and what's not true. We'll just have to take it because nobody's refuted it. Is that they do have to pay for their own lodging. So you say to yourself, man, if they got to pay for car and lodging and they share, that costs them $100 a day, Impact, dude. That's like a third of what they're making. That sucks. And then you say, well, what about all that merchandise that they're selling? Right? They're making it back in the merchandise. They're making it in other ways. So depending on how you spin it, these guys could have outstanding hourly rates making $300 a night. And we know that $300 a night is at the very, that's for like your KMs, right? That's not for your higher end talents or whatnot. So I look at it and I say that these are part-time people that Impact's using. They got their own branding. They have the ability to capitalize on their brand. You look at some of the talent and what they do. You look at the Rosemarys of the world, constantly pushing out the Demon Bunny stuff, constantly pushing out other types of product and whatnot. And you say to yourself, you know, these are people that are finding ways to improve their value in other places. They do autograph signings. I mean, Rosemary was at the Maryland show that I went to and had a line out the freaking door. People spending $20 just to get her to sign a freaking picture. A picture. Cost her $1 for the picture. Line was out the door. And people were buying her shirts. I bought a shirt and I got a picture from her. I think I dropped $40 or $50 just to say hi. So there was a lot of that going on. And people don't understand that. And she, by the way, doesn't complain about what she makes at all. Okay, but people have to understand that she's making that money because of the notoriety that she's getting from Impact. So when you look at somebody like KM who's getting extra bookings, you look at people like Killer Cross who now has autograph signings that he wasn't getting before when he was a no-name. This is all from this Impact Wrestling contract. So I don't know what they're paying them. I do know that for the lower-end talent, I don't think the $300 is as bad as other people seem to think it is, because Impact Wrestling is not paying these people to work full-time because they're not working full-time for Impact Wrestling.
Reports came out that said, some wrestlers are losing money when they work the Impact tapings and this and that. Let me just say, like, making $300 an hour or $300 a night to work Impact or whatever. I mean, look, you're on TV, you expect more, but look at the TV deal. You know what I mean? But honestly, can you tell me that it's not as good as making fucking $150 to go work an indie match where you're getting thrown through 8,000 shards of glass and thumbtacks and some ridiculous stuff like that? I mean, let's just be realistic. Sometimes I'm not taking Anthem's stance on this by any means. I feel if you sign a contract, you know goddamn well what you're getting into and you honor your contract. If you don't want to, you can buy it out yourself, because that's what happens in the real world. Let's say you have a cell phone company, you want to go elsewhere, you buy out your contract. Am I right?
I mean, they may or may not let you. There wouldn't be a buyout built in, but the thing is that it's hard for us to take a side because we have no idea what he's asking for. He could be asking for peanuts, in which case it's like Anthony's completely wrong. He could be asking for frickin' John Cena money or Brock Lesnar money, in which case, are you fucking kidding me? So I don't think we can take sides. I think all we can do is kind of try to analyze the different things that could be going on and say how we would feel if one or the other were the case.
And let's also not forget the fact that, Larkin sent me this thing the other day where someone interviewed Killer Cross at StarCast, who Killer Cross did say that there were some inaccuracies in the reports that came out and that he was, quote, very fucking pissed off about the report getting out. So who knows? What I will say, though, man, and this has been my complaint with the Anthem Nordholm since they came over, is that they feel every single talent is replaceable. And there comes a time where you've got to realize that not every talent is replaceable. Impact cannot afford to lose any more key players. I'm sorry to say, but there's becoming just a point where who the fuck do I care about anymore? And Cross and Scarlett are two of the very small handful that I really care to see on my TV, that I really care to tune into. No disrespect to Mike Elgin, but Killer Cross has and Elgin's a better worker, but Killer Cross has some aspects to him that Big Mike just can't do. And I would much rather see that main event at Slammiversary be Killer Cross than Big Mike taking on Cage. And I would much rather see Killer Cross become our world champ than potentially Big Mike getting it, which I don't think he will. But,
yeah, there's no doubt about that one. I will say this much about Big Mike. Big Mike looks great. I mean, he looks like he's buffed. And I don't want to say stronger, but more buffed now than he was a couple years ago in ROH.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know what, man, let's give props to this guy too, because, Big Mike's reputation took a big hit through, with some sexual harassments or, literally a woman that claimed that she wouldn't, Elgin refused to give her work unless she slept with him or I think swallow my cock was the actual word that she put in this report. All of that stuff has been refuted. We still have, you get the court of public opinion and the court of law, and the public opinion is still kind of shitting on Elgin for it. But all these charges have been dropped. Elgin's name has been cleared. Let's give this guy the clean slate that he deserves. And right now, he is completely
I actually thought that they tried it and just literally found him innocent.
Down and that was great.
So
found him innocent.
Let's talk about the court of.
Put on with Willie Mack has been fantastic.
Let's talk about the court of public opinion here, Raven Effect, and let's talk about what happened over the weekend with Taya and that fan. I know you got some strong opinions on this, but something went down over the weekend, and things got pretty ugly.
Backtrack too, because this is especially with some females as of late, man. This is not the only story that's came out, but, we've seen a video, and this is Philly. This is the home of ECW. Now, this is 2019. It's not 1999, but I'm going to say our society and stuff has gotten way too sensitive, including some of these wrestlers. Now, I don't know what was said the entire night between Taya and this fan, but, this fan said not heard Billy Ray, who, notoriously told the Philly crowd that you got someone out here in the front row with a woman who taught her a mother who taught her daughter how to suck and so forth. I think he called her a piece of whore or something ridiculous, but basically Taya is in this guy's face, and I don't know what happened during the Valkyrie and what happened with him and Johnny, but you see them yelling at each other in a confrontation, and they're in their face, and she's fuck you, get the fuck out of here. Slaps the guy's Blue Moon, and we all know it was a Blue Moon, which is quality beer. You can tell by the orange slice on there. Slaps the guy's drink out of his hand. Ever spitting on anyone else. I think it's the most disrespectful thing ever. But there comes a point, man, like, I don't feel like Taya thing that any guy or even female in the history that in our era, my era, and I think your era kind of started both in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and especially when you've been an ECW fan, that the wrestlers before them haven't heard before. And there was that story that came out with Mandy Lyon spitting in a fan. Twitter, but I saw this being brought back. Security, which was actually the guy that Mandy Lyon was screwing, having Bully Ray get in the guy's face and say, don't say another word to these women. And of course, you don't hear both sides of the story, but he got into it with Allure.
Oh man, it sounds like we lost Raven Effect. Raven Effect, are you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I cut out for a minute. I don't know what all got it, but I feel for one, like, maybe this man did say some things that are out of line, but Taya, look, you're a heel. You're getting your heel heat. You're doing what you're.
Looks like Raven Effect's cutting out on us here. Look, I'm with Raven Effect on this, folks. Here's the bottom line. Wrestling promotions and wrestlers ask us to suspend disbelief. They don't like the fact that we talk about this stuff. They don't like the fact that we do this stuff, like these types of shows.
I'm about to take my computer or whatever the fuck it is and throw this thing out of the fucking window.
Dude, I just watched
can
my
you hear me good?
I can hear you. You're back, man, and I just was jumping in and agreeing with you. Look, Raven Effect. Wrestling promotions. How often do the wrestlers and the producers come on and tell us we got to stop the stuff behind the scenes and just watch the show and enjoy it for what it is? All the fucking time, right? So when fans do that and they jeer the heels and they get in the heels' face, that's part of the freaking show. That's what you're asking us to fucking do. Now, this guy was apparently an asshole, and I'm not going to deny that, and I'm not going to say that he was right to go off and be screaming in their faces, but security just kick him out, right? Taya Valkyrie, all she had to do was walk away from him to begin with, but she didn't walk away from him until she slapped a drink out of his hand, which, by the way, got into an argument with somebody on Asylum about this. That is absolutely assault and battery, okay? She, in theory, could be charged with a crime for having done that. So you can't do that. You gotta stop, okay? So because you can't, you can't do
takes
that.
His money and she slaps it out of his hand.
Right, and you can't do that, right? So what you got to do is you've absolutely got to be a professional if you're Taya, and recognize the fact that people wanted to fucking kill Jim Cornette. Well, people still want to kill Jim Cornette, but like they were legitimately threatened with guns. Okay, they legitimately were threatened with guns back in the 70s and even into the 80s. People believed it that much. That's what being a heel is about. So don't give me all this bullshit that you want me to suspend my disbelief. You want me to buy into everything you're doing and then go, well, you need to treat me like a lady. No, you want to be a lady, go be a fucking face. Okay? Would never treat Miss Elizabeth like that. Am I right or wrong, Raven Effect? Raven Effect, are you there, buddy? You there? My friend, are you there?
I am. If I could put into words how frustrated I am right now with my fucking computer internet, I could. Good God, I apologize. I am about to just lose my shit on this. But I mean, yeah, like you were saying, they're threatened with guns. I mean, fans have tried to stab. They have a fan throw a beer right on his face when I was there. You know, Taya's doing her job as a heel. Get your heel heat. Okay? Don't be sensitive when people get upset. You're doing your job. It's hard as fuck to do that in this day and age with the internet and kayfabe being broken for years. And the other thing I have to say is, yeah, people do want to kill Jim Cornette, and I'll tell you who wants to kill him more than anyone? Hurls.
You got that, my friend. You got that. You there, Raven Effect?
Yeah, I just yelled "fuck my fucking computer."
Yeah, I'm getting irritated with mine too, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'm part of the problem. I just switched wireless networks. I think I'm part of the problem, dude.
I've got if my phone wasn't out of data, I would switch to my phone right now and say "fuck this." But you know, these intergender thing, man, I'm losing my mind on it. I'm so done and burnt out on this. Not only like our culture is in America and even overseas for one, I'm fucking burnt out on this man versus woman shit. But Impact is going so hard. Now it looks like we're setting up for Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan at Slammiversary. And, you know, a lot of this all stems and goes from my least favorite person in probably the history of Impact. And there's a lot of people in the history of Impact that I hate. John Gaburek, Bruce Pritchard, Dixie Carter, etc. Jordan Grace is been such an instigating culprit for all this. But we have this intergender thing, man, and we see all these women beating up these guys. And look, it is biologically wrong to hit women. And I'm not going to get into this Eli Drake thing again, but for a fucking reason. I am sick and tired of seeing these women beating up these guys because it would not happen. I cannot suspend the disbelief at this point that much more. And I'm ready to say this. If I see Sami Callihan, who should be challenging for the world title, who should be the Impact World Champion, if I see him lose to Tessa Blanchard clean, if I see him have to cheat to beat Tessa Blanchard, my Impact fandom is done. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the political shit, and it's got to be out of wrestling. But I am so burnt out on seeing this. There's no need for this. A&E, good guy, just coach A&E. AEW, man, I mean, there's so many variations of common pop culture words I can go with this. But, I mean, your thoughts on this intergender craze that Impact is cramming down our throats?
Had fucking enough. Seen enough. Had heard enough. Done with it. Makes me want to vomit every time that I see or hear about it. I think that I love, and I have proposed on this show over the years many times, intergender tag matches. Use the women in conjunction with the men. But Raven Effect, is that the same as an intergender match? Intergender tag match? Fuck no. Because the woman wrestles the woman, and the man wrestles the man. It is a different beast. And I'm not saying... I am so sick of this fucking BS social justice warrior bullshit. There is nothing that a man can't do that a woman can't do. There is nothing a woman can't do that a man can't do. I'm cool with all that. So don't claim that I'm a misogynist or I'm this or that. I'm none of that shit, okay? I got a wife and 2 kids sleeping here in a house right now, okay? Both kids are girls. Trust me, I'm all about females. But the thing is that doesn't mean that they can come and beat me up right now. And if you ask my wife, if she walked in here right now, she says those asinine things she'd ever heard of. See, no. That doesn't mean that women can't main event. I think Ronda Rousey deserved the main event WrestleMania. I think that match deserved it. Okay, what else is on the card, dude? Seriously, the whole fucking show sucked.
I just hate Ronda Rousey, and we know this.
I know, but it still deserved it over the other shit out there. I have no problem with the knockouts getting to that point and doing it as well. There's no reason why Tessa and Rosemary couldn't main event at pay-per-view. No fucking reason at all. You just do the story right. Give them the chance. They can do it. That doesn't mean that freaking Tessa should be beating up fucking Brian Cage. okay? Or God forbid Jordan Grace, who thinks that she can't beat up fucking Brian Cage. Like, you fucking kidding me? First of all, somebody needs
Cross.
Look, somebody needs to take freaking Jordan Grace's Twitter account from her, okay? And while you're at it, take Trump's too, okay? Seriously, she should not be fucking tweeting. First of all, I guess I'm blocked now.
I've been blocked too.
Because you and the Heelcast got blocked because you said something bad about her. So I guess I'm gonna get blocked too because it's being fucking honest with her. You just what are you thinking, right? Stop already, Jordan. All you're doing is losing fans and having people go, we don't like you now. Okay? Say to yourself, I'm a businesswoman. Let me make people like me and want to watch me, as opposed to not want to watch me. So the intergenders thing, shit needs to go. Raven Effect, I am right there with you. If I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna right here on the Heelcast right now, Raven Effect. If Sami Callihan loses to Tessa Blanchard, okay, and isn't cheated out of it in some massive way because somebody hits him over the head with a fucking plate or something, I don't know, I will stop watching Impact Wrestling, and I will change my name to AEW Dude.
Same here. I'll be done with Impact. And you know what? If AEW pulls the same kind of shit, then shiver me timbers, I'm done watching wrestling. Fucking period. I'm tired of this. Look, and it's Jordan Grace thinks she can beat up Killer Cross. And you say, like, oh, I said something bad about her. I got us in the Heelcast account blocked. No, I was just honest.
You were honest.
That's it. I have no respect for a man hitting a woman. I appreciate and have all the respect in the world for Eli Drake, what he's doing to refuse to do that, and honestly be honest. If you think that Killer Cross wouldn't just murder Jordan Grace in a couple of minutes, you're out of your fucking mind. And let's be real about this too, okay? Disco Inferno, Glenn Gilberti would beat the shit out of Scarlett. He would probably kick the living shit out of Tessa too. Scarlett has no business, no look, no appearance like she could beat up any guy. You know why? Because she can't. She's a very feminine woman. Enough is fucking enough with this.
Even if she wasn't a feminine woman, you're talking about big dudes. Disco Inferno's a big guy. Killer Cross.
He's in great shape.
He's in phenomenal shape. I think he's in better shape than he was 20 years ago. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I was impressed.
He really fucking is.
He's. I mean, I am like super impressed. Killer Cross would grab Jordan Grace. He'd throw her down on the ground and he'd choke her out, and that would be it. It would be over before it began. It wouldn't even take him a couple minutes unless she ran faster than him, and I don't think she runs faster than him because he's in pretty good shape himself. Okay? She's a weightlifter. She's a power lifter. She's not a freaking runner. He does all that shit. He'd just destroy her, and I don't want to watch it. Okay? And I certainly don't want to watch him lose to her and go, and I'm supposed to believe this? All you're doing is pushing some terrible agenda. And don't even get me started on the fact that they fucking fired Eli Drake for the same thing that you were, Raven Effect, which is honest. And then who do they bring in? Sabu. Right? And Havoc. And all Eli Drake did was just be honest with him and say, you know what, I don't want to do this. Find somebody else. He gets fired. Rohit Raju almost gets fired because he's just following a storyline fucking Don wrote. And Ed Nordholm's ready to fire him, but no, you want to go off and be flat out make racist comments, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. So it's the same with beating your bitch and torturing a dog, and I mean, and I used to be a massive Sabu fan, and it hurts me to not still be a Sabu fan, but you don't beat up women, you don't beat up dogs. I don't like the guy. It sucks. But, I mean, this company, some of these practices here, and for the love of God, people, please stop calling this woman Lil Mama Pump or something like that, Big Mama Pump. Stop. Just stop. God. She is flabby. She stopped disrespecting Scott Steiner, the great, like this, because she has no charisma. She does not have the muscle. I don't know what you're saying. She looks half flab, half amazing. Stop disrespecting Scott Steiner and quit trying to linger on in the past. This woman, too, on top of it, you mentioned, she's losing fans for this or that. She's got her little social just where these other delusional fucking, not only fanboys, but stupid-ass people in society that are on this fucking hype movement. And, all for it for fucking girl power and whatnot. But she's got that, but then she's losing other fans. And eventually, you know what I mean, you're going to lose half your fans. And Impact, you're getting on the verge of losing your fans because not everyone wants to see this. Not everyone has these liberal, idiotic, lunatic policies ingrained in their head that this can happen. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this political, but Impact, stop making this political.
And
politics do not belong in wrestling.
Bingo. That right there. Politics do not belong in wrestling. Look, I'm not even against girl power. I just want realistic girl power. Show that the women can wrestle as well as the men, which, by the way, they're doing a great job of. Okay? Let them achieve what they can achieve. This isn't a matter of pushing anybody down. Bring them up the card. Give them equal opportunity. But my God, it'd be like putting me in the fucking ring with Andre the Giant and making me go over. Are you real serious, dude? Fucking serious?
You know what? I'm going to be honest right now. I think you could go over on Andre the Giant if you guys wrestled today.
Today, yes. Today, this is true. But 20 years ago, I couldn't.
No.
And he
actually,
was dead,
maybe. He's been dead for 30.
He's been dead for 30, but I still couldn't have gone over him 20 years ago.
That's true. This is the one thing too I want to bring up that I've forgotten and we've misplaced this is when that whole Cross and fucking Scarlett story broke over that weekend. What else broke? Guess who wasn't under a contract? She was on a handshake deal, had theme music ready to go and geared up for all AEW. Was Jordynne Grace at the helm of it? This news broke that this woman never signed her contract she was given. I don't know how Impact just doesn't notice, like, hey, she never signed the contract in, but Jesus Christ, it goes in every regime and era of management with this company. They just forget, hey, our contract never signed it. This woman who gets Eli Drake, the one guy left in the company that could actually fucking carry this company and be a franchise person and actually get them on a new network if they actually let the guy do what he's supposed to do and market themselves properly for once in a fucking era. Almost walks out on the company, doesn't sign a deal. Now, granted, she did. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping to God that she would be gone. Damage done. But this woman has been... People have called Eli Drake a cancer for what he did. I have not seen a cancer as much as Jordynne Grace has been. When they made the error on the social media the other day and said it was Kiera Hogan versus Kiera Hogan. She mocks this person that works for the company. And yet she's like calling out Eli Drake for talking shit about coworkers. This is what you get. Look in the mirror, you cunt. Seriously, enough of this woman. I am tired of her. I hope she never becomes champ. I hope I never see her on my TV again. Unfortunately, I know that's going to happen because she signed a long-term deal. But for the love of God, I am sick and tired of Jordynne Grace, and I am sick and tired of intergender matches. Fucking
But we won't have to listen to her on Twitter anymore because we are now officially both blocked. I am convinced of it. It's the words making the rounds. Now, look, speaking of her going off on Twitter and saying stupid shit, apparently, she is going to tell Goldberg how to do a jackhammer now. So let's face it. The guy's, 52 years old?
52? Well, his opponent was 53.
He'll be 53. He's not 53 yet. So he's 52. I think Taker's 53. Goldberg runs into a ring post, knocks himself out, right? Main event, Saudi Arabia, in front of all these fans. Now, look. I'm not going to suggest that it's okay that they had apparently the worst match in the history. Seriously, that match alone puts Botchamania out of business, right? Because who needs it anymore, right? They just did it all in the match. And I get the fact that Taker doesn't like the fact that he comes back and he has a shitty match. And I get that Goldberg's responsible. But the guy was legitimately fucking knocked unconscious and he tried to continue the match. And she makes fun of him. This is how you do it.
Wasn't the only one.
And I'm like, bitch, look. Why don't you fucking go and sell out an arena with 10 people, okay? Forget 10,000, forget 20,000, forget fucking stadiums and shit, okay? Get 10 people to go fucking watch you and main event it. And then let's talk, okay? When you can do that, when you can draw the money that Bill Goldberg's drawn, and then when you're 52 years old, and you can get off of your ass and wrestle. And by the way, thousands upon thousands of people are still fucking showing up at the arena to watch you wrestle. Then let's talk. In the meantime, you know what? Seriously. Have some respect. Respect the business. That's what these guys always talk about. You watch all these interviews about the legends of the past. They talk about respecting the business. They say, when I get started, man, they kicked the shit out of me because I didn't respect the business. I need to learn to respect the business. Well, you know what? Learn to respect the business. Respect it, damn it. Respect it. And by the way, that Raven Effect, that Goldberg Undertaker match was a fucking atrocious, man.
Look, I've always hated Goldberg. I've never been a fan of the guy. I still think he's Greenberg at this many years in his career. But let me just say this for real, okay? You hit the nail on the head. let's also keep in mind the fact that she is literally stealing a move that he maybe not invented, but he damn sure made famous. Okay, we get it. You can do it. You're young. The dude's 50, hasn't wrestled in years and whatnot. He has so much more strength at 52 than you've had in your entire life, woman. So calm your tits, okay? Let me also say this to you. You bring that up. I have seen this man give a fucking jackhammer to a big, sexy Kevin Nash at 7 feet tall. I've seen him do it to Sid Insane Justice. I have seen him do it to the Giant, a.k.a. the Big Show, Paul White. Stop. But she has done this and perfected this move time and time again. And I think Goldberg is one of the worst workers I have ever seen in the history of pro wrestling. Jordan Grace, I don't know what the hype is. I've never seen this woman be special. I've seen her be bland. I've hated her from the minute she's been on TV, but I cannot stand her now. It's totally tasteless, but I see nothing but tasteless acts from this woman the entire time she's been on there. So, yeah, this was the worst thing I've ever seen. Goldberg, this moron, so let me just shit on the WWE in this match. For one, ever since this was announced, it was like, my God, this could have been monumental 20 years ago, but this is pathetic. And, yeah. What you said about Sun Out Arenas, man, go watch Goldberg beat Hogan, man. See the fucking crowd reaction to that. I mean, this guy legitimately, we talked about household names earlier on. This guy was a household name, a legit. And I say there's under 10 household names in the history of wrestling. This guy was one of them. At one point, he was every bit as big as Stone Cold or The Rock was in that era. So, fuck off, Jordan.
If you walked down the street and said to somebody who Goldberg is, they knew who they were. If you said you knew who Jordan Grace is, they'd be like, the fuck are you talking about? Is that a singer or something? Yeah.
Is it Little Mama Pump? Who?
Exactly.
Is that Scott Steiner's woman?
Well, you know what?
People are going to know who Scotty Steiner is, and this woman ever will.
If Scott Steiner is okay with her being Little Mama Pump, I'd be all right with it. But this isn't one of those cases where Roddy Piper said to Ronda Rousey, you can be rowdy. It's in that case. She's just trying to take it, just like she's stealing Goldberg's move.
Mm-hmm. Of course. That's all she is. Thief. But this idiot Goldberg bashing his head on the door before he comes out and busts himself open, and then apparently botches his spear and knocks himself unconscious and gets a fucking concussion. That's just it's fine. I've seen the tombstone. I haven't seen the match, but I just it's pretty damn sad.
So while we're on the subject of WWE and stupid shit, did you see the latest trailer, I guess it was, or vignette of Triple H sitting on his throne trying to mock back at AEW?
I did. I missed some special parts that you informed me on about the way the throne was built. I didn't see it as a shot until you explained some of it to me. But go ahead and explain for those out there who haven't caught it yet.
So now the first thing is that I don't watch WWE. Y'all know I don't watch fucking WWE. I can't stand it, so I just don't watch it, right? So I know that apparently Triple H likes to sit on the throne and come out to WrestleMania. So at Double or Nothing, Cody goes out and there's a throne, and he just takes a sledgehammer, another Triple H, trademark type of thing, and destroys the throne with it, and the whole thing does some sort of a weird little explosion thing, and it's done. So what I don't know is if AEW literally copied Triple H's regular throne or not. All I know is Triple H had the exact same throne as what Cody destroyed, and he's sitting in it with his sledgehammer. And if you look in the back of it, behind him, there's a crack right where Cody hit it. And it's basically his way of saying, I ain't going nowhere. Which is great, because it means that he knows he's got a threat, and he feels threatened. And I love that. Raven Effect, did you with me, or did you go somewhere?
I thought I lost you for a minute. I'm there. I love it too. Man, I knew he knew this was a threat when at the Hall of Fame induction when he called them a pissant company. You know what I mean? Right, because Billy Gunn was there and they tried to mock and knock on Billy Gunn right there. And I love it too. He felt that thing was so cheesy. It's like, okay, so let me get this straight here, Hunter. You're basically just saying oh, he cracked it, but I'm still sitting on this shitty throne. I mean, we're losing ratings as the dozens go by and all, but we know this AEW thing, so we're gonna mock it and be like, hey, I'm still sitting on this shitty throne. What did you accomplish, Hunter, other than letting people know that you have competition, which is you've followed the WWF for years, always been the golden rule of them not to acknowledge other competition or companies out there. You know why? because people might realize, oh shit, they have been insulting our intelligence. They got better stuff. It was pathetic, and Cody won me over doing that. But if I don't know, did you hear Cody's explanation on this, on why he went and did what he did, though?
No, I didn't.
If you hear what he said, it wasn't necessarily a shot at the game. It was basically him saying, when he went out and did that, it was him saying, look, I'm in a VP role, I'm in an executive, but I'm not ready to hang him up yet. I've still got a lot of wrestling left into me, and that's why he went and did it. It wasn't necessarily, Triple H, you suck. I'm sure it really was, in a way. It was about 50-50. But, to keep it more professional, it's what he did.
I feel like it was a shot at Triple H. The fact that he was out there is showing that. Now, you mentioned about Triple H being threatened and there being better products. What was your take on Double or Nothing?
It was phenomenal. Like, I don't think it was as good as Rebellion, but it was really fucking good. I'm gonna say, for one, man, everyone, if you listen to this Heelcast, who is my favorite act that I don't get to watch very often, that I've been a fan of, that I feel like, God, I hate the fact that John Gibber let these guys go. It's Kazarian and Daniels. I've been a fan of Scorpio Sky from what I've seen, including on Tosh.0, and that son of a bitch, Arn Anderson. I'm calling you out again, Arn. But, it was a great fucking show, man. And that Lucha Brothers and Young Bucks. Lucha Brothers in 2 pay-per-views back-to-back with Rebellion and Double or Nothing just flat out stole the show down. I'm glad to see Jericho come out. I've never really seen the guy, but I'm a huge like Jon Moxley right now is probably my favorite person in wrestling. I don't know that I've ever watched a match the guy's been in. I'm sure I have, but not many. The Cody and Dustin match was really good. It was more of the story that was told in it than anything, and it was good to see Dustin go out there and juice himself up. At 50-some years old, man, how great a shape to see it. And I've always been a huge Goldust Dustin Rhodes fan. I mean, Goldust and me, I liked him a lot more than I ever liked his dad or his younger brother. I get to see my bad influence. I was disappointed that they didn't use Allie in the match, but it was good to see her commentate. I was bored by that 6-woman tag match and all, but and Awesome Kong coming out was awesome too. And MJF, I predicted Adam Hangman Page would win the Battle Royal. MJF is going to be a star. I want to see more of this guy. Jericho better beat Adam Hangman Page, because the guy he's nothing special to me yet. Apparently he's improved a lot. But Double or Nothing, man, it's awesome. I'm so stoked for AEW. I'm excited for All Out. And I want to see Y2J become the champ. I'm happy. I'm not behind Kenny Omega. I'm not a ROH New Japan kind of a guy. And I was happy as hell to see Jericho lose, and I'm excited. It sounds like we're going to get Kenny Omega against Moxley at the pay-per-view. Sounds like we're going to get Y2J against Hangman Page is set in stone. I bet you we get the Rhodes Brothers against the Young Bucks. All Out's going to be a good show. What was your thoughts on Double or Nothing, man? Because I know you're into it. We're excited for the AEW, and so is my good buddy, Old School Hill. I want to give a shout-out to. We might get the return of the OSH. He is all in on AEW. Your thoughts?
I love the show. I thought it delivered. I love the crowd. The crowd was amazing. It's the kind of crowd that makes you realize why you used to appreciate professional wrestling so much. I mean, honestly, it's the crowd, and hats off to the crowd. They were amazing. I was shocked that Goldust, or I guess Dustin Runnels I should call him. I don't know what the fuck I should call him. But that Dustin, at the age of 50 years old, was actually bleeding. I thought for sure that he was just popping packets on himself constantly. He actually cut himself, man. That was legit. I was like, there's no way he's bleeding that much. Apparently, he started to get lightheaded and dizzy at times, and then just worked through it. Anything the Lucha Brothers do is just magical. Their work is just amazing. And every time I see Rey Fenix, I become a bigger and bigger fan of the guy. I just can't tell you that it was always Pentagon, but Pentagon's awesome. But Rey Fenix is just a magician with the way he uses that ring. Unbelievable. And loved him in Impact, and now it's just like he's just still going. It was great to see Kaz and Daniels back. Absolutely loved it. Totally agree with you on pretty much everything that you've just said. What I'll tell you though is that Jon Moxley. Let's talk a little bit about Jon Moxley. I don't watch WWE, so I don't know shit about Dean Ambrose. But did you listen to the Jericho podcast that he did?
I've had such a crazy past couple of weeks. I haven't had the chance to. I've kind of heard some highlights or whatever. Didn't it end with like Jericho attacking him or something, making it?
No, man. This is where he shot on WWE and creative.
Oh,
and
I did read
all
those
this
things.
shit. Oh my god, dude, you need to listen to it though. I sat and I don't listen to many podcasts. I just don't have time. I found the time while I was doing something else to listen to that podcast. It was unbelievable. Very clearly, he is my new favorite wrestler. I ain't never seen a match of his, but the thing that I liked the most about that podcast was when he says he told his wife, who is her name's Renee Young. Is that it? She's in WWE as an announcer. Yeah. He said, babe, you know what? I don't care about the money. He's like, my house is paid for. I can live on nothing. He's always just saved and not spent the whole lot. They can come take everything. We'll just go live in an RV and just drive off as long as we have each other. And what that means to me is that he's family first. Okay? And it's just him and her right now, right? But he's more interested in just being with his wife than he is about being a big, fat superstar, megastar guy. And apparently she's the same way, which is amazing for two freaking WWE people to actually feel that way. Like, we could take or leave the stardom. We just want to be together. You know what I mean? And that he just went off and he did it because he loves pro wrestling so much and he wants to just make pro wrestling better. And everything that he said, you could tell that he meant it, and it was unbelievable. So he may turn out to be the world's worst worker, although I suspect he didn't get where he is because he sucks. But I will be a fan of his forever. Absolutely loved it. Loved everything about the show, except, and I got to throw it out there, did not like the opening when they did the national anthem. Didn't feel like pushing out somebody from Hamilton who was very controversial in politics and have his family sing it as well. I don't know why the family was involved in it at all. It was really a good move for a fledgling promotion, much like Impact. Just stay away from the messages. Not even subtle messages, just freaking entertain. You have the crowd, you have us all. Don't lose us because you want to send some sort of a message that doesn't even need to be sent in your show. That was the only thing about it, but the show delivered on all cylinders. Big fan of Jon Moxley. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, and I'll say anthem thing. Look, I honest to God, and I don't mean to sound ignorant or on, but I don't know much about Hamilton or what the backstory is there too. I thought they sucked on the anthem. I didn't necessarily disagree with the message on his T-shirt to include everyone. That said, I don't want any political shit. They've already got endorsed by AOC, who is the dumbest woman in the history of probably the world. And this guy, I don't want the liberal message crammed down my throat. I get enough of that on everything I turn on to. So I agree with you there.
Well, just to be fair,
to see where we go from here.
Just to be fair, real quick, I mean, like AOC, she should probably have endorsed WWE because they're kind of local. It would really help her. But the deal with Hamilton is that they're the ones that heckled Vice President Pence. That's the play that he had all the issues at, which is just they were just disrespectful.
And them singing the anthem, they were awful. I mean, that was a terrible national anthem.
It wasn't Roseanne bad though. It wasn't Roseanne bad though.
True. What Democrats are doing to America and our national anthem is pretty terrible too. But that's a different story for something else, not on the Heelcast. But
yeah, not a Heelcast.
What I'm going to say, man, is I love Pentagon to death too. But Phoenix, and I know you and I had this discussion a couple days or weeks ago or whatever, man. But Phoenix is fucking just blowing the roof off too, man. He is winning me over so much more. I was all Pentagon only for me, but man, Ray Phoenix is the man. Nothing but love here for what he's doing. And I want to give Jericho props for what he's doing Twitter-wise and promoting himself and just being an incredible, incredible heel over just what's going on here. Some other things we had, I hear about him all the time. The Super Smash Bros. Have signed with AEW. Luchasaurus, who we've been seeing work some Impact shows, and we've seen him in Lucha Underground. I'm a fan of this guy. The commentary, is it Excalibur? What's the commentator with the mask name?
Oh, Excalibur, man, he was phenomenal.
His voice kind of sounds like Don Callis, but I mean, the guy was doing a better job than good old JR in commentary.
It's Don Callis with a mask on.
Him and JR are gonna do.
It's Don Callis with a mask.
It might be. I'm excited to see how these two do on AEW. And look, here's the big news, the bombshell. Tuesday night, starting October, I believe the first Tuesday in October, AEW, TNT, back in the wrestling business. I couldn't be more excited to see this. Our next pay-per-view, All Out, is August 31st. October, we're going to get competition, TNT, prime time. Fuck you, WWE. And I love the fact that they were smart enough not to go head-to-head on Monday nights with the NFL. His father is part of the NFL. I'm excited, man. I cannot wait, and that's so big that they've done this. And I know you're excited too. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm looking forward to it. I would like to find out. I know it's prime time. What time does it start? And is it a 2-hour show, a 3-hour show, a 1-hour show? Gonna have to assume it's 2 hours, but that's an assumption at this point. So I think the real test for AEW is gonna come once they start having to put out a couple hours of TV a week. They said they're gonna be live. It did say live, right? Am I right about that?
It did.
It did. So let's see how they handle the pressure and the booking of having to be live every single week come October. But you know what? So far they've proven to be up for the task. So let's hope that this is their warm up, right? Let's hope for that.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for this to come out. And you asked me a good question before we went on the air if it's 1 or 2 hours. I'm assuming it's 2, but I don't know. I do remember them saying it's going to be live, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And I really think that this is going to be the big thing in wrestling, and they're going to be. I fear, and I hope Impact gets a partnership because I do feel, as much as I love AEW and I'm excited to see what happens with it, I feel AEW is ultimately going to be the thing that ends up being the death of Impact. Impact cannot keep losing all these talents and wrestlers. And look, the Lucha Brothers were just moved to the alumni section. I want to say thank you, Pentagon, our former world champ, tag team champ. Thank you, Ray Phoenix, for the memories that you got in the past. What did we get? A solid year and a half of Impact with these two. Thank you guys for everything that you've done. And we look forward to seeing you in AEW because we know we're going to tear it down. I mean, Pentagon Jr., man, world champ. 2 feuds of the year 2 feuds of the year for Callahan, but him and Callahan, probably feud of the year. One of the best, most awesome matches I've seen. Best feuds I've ever seen, him and Sami Callahan. Lucha Brothers and LAX, one of the best tag team feuds I've seen. Full Metal Mayhem, one of the best matches I've seen in years. I mean, Pentagon Jr., just thank you, Lucha Brothers. Especially thank you, Pentagon, for what you did for Impact. And I hope to God AEW uses you right. Because I'm all in on the Lucha Brothers.
No, awesome sauce. So Raven Effect, we got anything left, man? Or are we good? We done?
We don't. We finally covered a Heelcast. I want to say, I want to give props to the Impact Wrestling roster and weekly shows that we're seeing. Keep tuning in because they have been good. Look, I'm a fan of Rob Van Dam, but I'm going to say this, man. Stop putting this guy over so many people. He should, if he goes over Moose at Slammiversary, give me a fucking break, Impact. Moose should be going over here. The North, great tag team. Stop using them more. I'm watching this documentary on Viceland. The wrestlers, Ethan Page, man, is a better talent than what we're seeing. Let this guy go. There's a spot where he wrestles this guy. He literally puts this guy that he's been feuding with. He hits him with a shovel, and there's a botch in it to where when Ethan hits this guy, the guy protects himself wrong and literally slices his tricep open. So after this happens, though, Ethan puts this guy in a body bag, fills the body bag with fucking thumbtacks, picks it up, and power bombs this dude. And keep in mind, man, what do you think these thumbtacks, if they get into his cut open wound on his tricep or arm, has got to feel like on top of it? But then he picks him out of there again and power bombs this dude into a chair. Awesome stuff. I mean, let's see more Ethan Page. Let's see this roster work better. And just props all around. It's a positive time. And it's good to be a wrestling fan lately.
All right, Raven, I got one last question for you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
We doing this again next week?
I hope to God. I am going to do everything I can to actually make the Heelcast more consistent, get some shows out, and I hope you're in too. I hope we're all in on the Heelcast as well, my friend.
Dude, we are all in. We are all out. We are all whatever. All Elite Wrestling is all whatever, right?
Double or nothing next week.
We're that's right. Next week is double or nothing, baby.
Can we do 2 shows in a row? But like Heelcast fan, thank you. We're still loyal. Please don't give up on us. We are going to get out a more consistent show again, especially when AEW is out. So we will be here. Just don't be square. AEW Impact, dude. Anything else you have left to say, my friend?
Nah, man. Take it home, my friend. Bring it home.
I mean, look, thank you, everyone out there. Check in your AEW updates. Check out the Heelcast and our family. Check out Impact Wrestling. Thank you all for tuning in. Same Heelcast time next time, which God knows when the actually Heelcast time is. But look, on behalf of the AEW Impact Dude, it's the RVE. Signing out. Heelcast out. One love.
Sign up.